What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your amateur Canadian from the West Coast, British Columbia, near Vancouver. I don't know if you've been here or not. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Anyways, hopefully you're doing fantastic. And let's check out the video. From Deanna and Phil, 16 things not to do in Germany. Let's check it out.
What's up, everybody? We are Deanna and Phil. Deanna is from the United States and I am from Germany. And in this video, we're going over 16 things that you should not do in Germany.
Alright, so some of these things are a little more serious and some of them are going to be pretty funny, so let's just get right into it.
Alright, number one, you should never recycle wrong or throw away your Pfand.
Pfand!
What's a fund? Or Pfand? What is it?
So Germany is a pretty green country and people tend to take their recycling pretty serious. So if you're here, you should not just throw everything in one bucket, but separate it between plastic, metal, paper, rest and all.
We're serious about our recycling here in Canada too, but in the smaller towns, it's not super effective or efficient. Some of the recycling measures, I would say, unfortunately.
All that good stuff. I don't even know how many there are.
So Pfand is a deposit where you pay a little extra on bottles or cans and you'll usually return them at a little machine in the supermarkets where you get a voucher and your money back for doing a good thing.
We have the exact same thing here. There's a predetermined amount when you buy a canned grocery item or a canned item or a bottled item, and you return it to the bottle depot and you receive your deposit. It's called a bottle deposit or a can. Yeah, it's a bottle deposit. You get it back when you take it to the recycling.
So never throw away your Pfand bottle. Pfand!
Number two, you should never drive on the left or the middle lane of the autobahn. There's actually a law in place that requires you to drive on the right lane on the autobahn at all times unless you're overtaking somebody. So if you're not planning to go super fast and overtake a lot of people, you're required to drive on the right lane. So don't drive in the middle or the left lane slowly and block traffic.
So once again, exact same thing here in Canada.
Because people will get aggressive.
And honk. Number three, don't walk in...
So far we're 2 for 2 for like samesies with Germany and Canada.
the bicycle lane.
When you write, your tone influences how...
Samesies again. You don't walk in the bicycle lane. That's same thing here.
In Germany, there are a lot of different bicycle lanes in and out of the city, and especially in student towns, there'll be a lot of bikers. So don't walk in them. Walk in the pedestrian zones or a sidewalk. That's what they're for.
You could be an idiot and walk in the bicycle lane, but you're going to get hit by a bicycle, you're going to get yelled at. 3 for 3 so far. Samesies.
4. Do not address strangers using their first name. It is kind of funny, but in Germany for the word you...
This one's different, because how do you know the stranger's first name, though?
If you address somebody, we have two versions. There is du and there is sie.
Du and
sie is a polite version. It also implies that sie, you're on a last name basis. So that is the polite version to use.
Okay, so like, it's not so much as literally using the first name. You're either referring to them informally or formally. So, what was it? Zu and sie? Du. So du. Or if it was my wife, sie.
Implies that sie, you're on a last name basis. So that is the polite version to use. And if you meet somebody for the first time, or especially an elder person, you use the polite form. You do not use their first name. You are on a last name basis and use the sie instead of the du. And if you get to know a person very well and you're on a friend basis, on a first name basis, then it's fine to use the first name and the du. Du Diana.
Oh.
Du Diana. Number 5. Don't.
So that one is a little bit different. Like in Canada, we just don't have a similar. Depending on the language that you speak, we have a very diverse country, and there's a lot of different languages spoken. Like in Filipino, it's you say po if it's like a more formal or you're trying to show respect. So 3 for 4 so far. Let's check out 5.
use public transportation without a ticket. A lot of the public transportation systems are controlled a lot, and there'll be men and women who just appear once the ride has started to check on everyone to see if they have a ticket.
Yeah, they're undercover.
Papers, please.
And the fines are usually kind of high or out of proportion with the ticket prices.
Yeah.
A number I always have in my mind is 60 euros, but nowadays it might be even more, like 80 or 100.
It's not worth it.
Okay, number 6, and this is a little bit more of a
So that seems samesies. Like, you can't ride public transit without a ticket. If you get caught, you're going to get in trouble. So 5 out of 6.
serious one. You should never show the Nazi salute or
5 out of 6. I mean, 4 out of 5. Samesies so far.
joke about Nazis in Germany. Of course, because of the history in Germany, it's kind of a forbidden
I would assume using the Nazi salute would be a no-no.
thing to do, and most of the Germans nowadays were kind of raised by this post-World War II anti-Nazi generation. If another person comes to the country and does anything Nazi related, it's so out of our minds that it's so weird that the world still thinks that. So that's quite offensive, and you should never ever do that. And by the way, the same thing also applies to sing the old version of the national anthem. And I think around the world a couple of people still think that might be it. And it's the one with the Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. That is the Nazi anthem. You're not allowed to sing that anymore. The real one is Einig.
Are you not allowed to sing it? Or is it like just offensive in, or are you gonna get arrested if you sing it, or?
Und Recht und Freiheit, blah blah blah. That's the newer national anthem, and that's the only one that's supposed to be sung in Germany.
Number 7, don't gossip in English in public. Most Germans have a very decent grasp of English, and they'll probably understand you. I know it's very common when people go to other countries, they tend to gossip in another language. I've heard it spoken in different languages all the time, and it's a little uncomfortable and embarrassing when other people understand you. So to avoid uncomfortable situations like that, gossip behind their back.
Number 8. You should never disrespect the German quiet hours. So every day, or rather every night, from 10 p.m. till 6 or 7 a.m. the next morning, in Germany, by law, there are quiet hours. So you're not supposed to like play loud music, do construction or anything like that. Most of the country kind of abides by that.
Same thing here. It's, bylaws.
Rule, which means there's very little noise pollution during the night when you're trying to sleep or relax, and I think it's a kind of a nice thing. So if you do that, the Germans probably will call the police on you because they think they're in the right, and they do that and the police knocks and like turn it down. Never ever disrespect the quiet hours. Alright, so before we continue with the video, we want to take a quick moment to remind you guys, please go and like the video. It helps us out a lot. We're still a small channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I can see
Go check out their video. It's in the description of my video.
that about 80% of the viewers are not subscribed to the channel. Also, if you want to further support us, you can do that on Patreon. We have a Patreon page.
So number 9, don't solely rely on credit card payments. In Germany, there's still a lot of things that are pretty cash-based, and sometimes your credit card will even be rejected from a stall or bakery or a vendor. So it's important to note and make sure you have cash on you. So number 10, don't expect
Same thing
small
here.
talk. If you're from the South and you're used to the good old Southern American small talk, that's not gonna happen. And it's not trying to be rude, it's just a cultural difference, so don't expect
Well, it sure is hot out there today.
to chat with a random stranger about the weather or something.
Number 11 is do not expect free water anywhere. So if you're used to the American way, you go to a restaurant and the waiter comes right away with a nice
No free water? That's one of my main things here in Canada. Like, if I don't get water, I get irritated.
bucket of cold ass water and refills you for free all evening long. That is not a thing in Germany, and you should not
You gotta pay for it?
I think it's quite of a dumb thing, but water in German restaurants is quite expensive and most of the times even bubbly.
Sprudelwasser.
So in some places you could actually ask for tap
Sprudelwasser.
water and potentially get it for free, but a lot of places don't even do that, and if they do, it might be a little frowned upon. But in general, you should not expect free water everywhere. Number 12. Do not enter a house with your shoes on. So all around Germany, it's pretty common to take off your shoes
Same thing here. Don't enter the house with the shoes on.
if you enter somebody else's house. or at least you should ask if you should take your shoes off. And sometimes they say, no, you don't have to. But a lot of times people take their shoes off right
Because his subtitle says you don't have feet.
at the entrance, leave them there, and then just walk around in your socks.
Leave your dirty shoes in the front.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious how many of the households do that. I would say the majority of the households in Germany do that thing and do not walk around with their shoes.
We take our shoes off in the foyer area, or like right when you come in the door usually. And yeah, you don't wear your shoes around the house because your shoes have dirt and grime and mold. Not literal mold, but like they got dirtiness on them.
On. Maybe let
don't
us
want
know
that
in
on
the
your
comments
house.
below
Yeah.
if you had to take your shoes off at your parents' house or how you do it at the moment.
So number 13, don't give advance birthday wishes. Even if it's a day before someone's birthday and you will not see them on their birthday, do not wish them a happy birthday.
Doesn't seem like something anybody does. Do people do that? Give advance birthday wishes? That's a weird thing to do. I've heard of like belated birthday wishes, but
It's not their birthday yet.
I learned that after coming to Germany. You are not allowed to wish them a happy birthday until on their birthday or after their birthday.
Yeah, and I was surprised to learn in the US that a lot of people do that actually.
Some people will have a party a week in advance if that just works with their schedule.
So much bad luck. Number
Yeah.
14 is kind of a very serious one. You should never, ever expect to be dressed in a sauna on
who wears clothes in a sauna?
every beach. All right, this is kind of a funny one. We
Or the beach? I mean, you might wear clothes at the beach, but in a sauna? That's for literally sweating.
just wanted to throw that in there. In Germany, in a sauna, usually you are naked.
Yeah,
You go in with a
of
towel
course.
and then you take it off or whatever. But you are actually not allowed to wear any clothing. If you wear clothing in there, people...
I don't really... Is this like an issue? People wearing clothing in a sauna? Why would you go into a sauna with clothing? The whole point of it is to sweat and like cleanse your toxins and all that stuff. You don't need to wear... Yeah, this is the same in Canada. There's nobody wearing clothing. And if somebody was wearing clothing, people would be concerned that there's something wrong with them.
can get the whatever security or supervisors and they'll throw you out or make you undress.
You must be naked.
Yeah, there are also parts of beaches in Germany that are especially for nakedness, nudity.
Beaches.
Yeah, nude beaches. We call it
beaches.
FKK, Freikörperkultur. And on these beaches, you have to be naked. It's not allowed to wear any clothes.
Like fully naked?
Yeah, fully naked.
Yeah, so I've yet to go to a nude beach or a nude sauna, but I'm open to it.
Ho ho. Should I be concerned?
Why? Just gonna be a whole bunch of older people. So number 15, don't abandon your shopping cart. I feel like in the US sometimes there'll be shopping carts spread
Yeah, I've never been to a nude beach and don't really want to.
throughout the parking lot, and there'll just be like a shopping cart ghost town. In Germany, that is not the case. You need a coin to access a
Exactly the same. We have $1. You put the dollar in, it gives you the cart, etc. And then you, at the end of your shopping experience, you get your dollar back.
cart, and you also want your coin back, so you have to return the cart to get your coin back. And it's a good system, it's nice, and there's not abandoned shopping carts everywhere.
And our last point, point number 16, is in Germany, you should not jaywalk.
We ain't in New York City.
Yeah, but we're kind of in Berlin, so let's say you should not, but a lot of people still do it. Although I think the majority of the people kind of follow the rules and they do not jaywalk. You should always cross where the little traffic light is and then only when the green
the man
mannequin,
tells you.
not the red one. And it's not...
I mean, it's common courtesy for sure. I mean, people do it, but you can also get a ticket here depending on what the road is. Like if you're in a city road, like you can't just jaywalk. You're gonna get a ticket if a police sees you.
that hardly persecuted, but you can actually get fined if you get caught in the act jaywalking. So the police sees you, gets you, and I don't know how much it is, 5, 10, 20 euros, something like that. So you should not jaywalk in Germany. All right, so those were our 16
All right.
things that you should not do if you go to Germany. Let us know in the comments below if you can think about any...
So Canada and Germany, for these 16 anyways, very, very similar. Good stuff. It's interesting. Like a lot of similarities there. Let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll see you on the next video.